You find out that the person you met has 0 friends and spends all their time alone at home. What is your first thought? We are so similar, we should play video games together. We are so similar, we should play video games separately. This is a more realistic answer. We should be friends on Discord and Steam so we can see what each other is playing but never talk. Staying invisible on both platforms. Holy shit, are you me? People always give me shit for it because they know I'm there most of the time. Last online, 41 days. Insert game last played on 30th of May. Depends on the situation. I moved away from a state I grew up in and left all my friends behind. Not to mention I'm middle-aged, so friends kinda disappear because life happens. Hope they're happy. I made the mistake of thinking Forever Alone was for people that were happy being alone. I was wrong. Well, that was a sad turn on the internet. I lurked, gave some friendly advice, then backed away slowly. Oh man, I used to be on that sub a lot, so maybe I can offer some perspective. Some people have absolutely zero success with relationships. You can call them incels, but these are the ones who mostly aren't misogynists and instead blame themselves more than anyone else. These aren't the stereotypical neckbeard basement dwellers who only wants to date hot girls into anime, mostly. For me, due to a mix of physical mental health issues, I had no relationship experience into my late 20s. You just end up in this downward spiral where you feel like a freak, almost inhuman, because nobody seems interested in you, and that causes you to be more depressed, awkward, reclusive, and makes it more difficult to talk to people. Most people in that sub severely lack self-confidence because of their lack of experience, and it's like a catch-22. I'm married now, but during those dark times just knowing I wasn't the only one in that situation was actually a big help. For some it probably just reinforces the spiral, but for me it made me feel more human and helped motivate me to change my behavior and outlook on life. It really depends, are they a loner because they enjoy their own company, or because their behavior is atrocious? I'm a loner, and if the person seemed fine I'd not be bothered. Exactly. I spend my time at home because I prefer it. I get more than enough social interaction from work. Agree. I work in hospitality and I absolutely love it, but I'm an introvert and on my days off the absolute last thing I want to do is spend more time with people. My coworkers and regulars are my friends, genuinely. The few things I do outside of work I still do with them. But I am happy spending all my free time alone. I like the people I spend most of my time at work with, but I also really like being alone. Therese, nothing wrong with that. I read that as I work in a hospital, and I thought, you have regulars at a hospital? Still applicable, we just call them frequent flyers instead of regulars. Now we just started calling them by the sandwich that they came for. Sad, but if you call Mr. Smith by any other name than turkey sandwich, nobody in the will know who he is. Some MDs in the I work at will grab a boxed lunch and a bus pass when they see certain names on the board and take it out to triage to see if one of the regulars they know really well is sure they want to sit in triage for 6 hours, or maybe they'd rather take the bus to the shelter. My wife and child died few years ago. My best friends from high school and college have died. I don't make new friends anymore. I ride my bike and take care of my dog and keep to myself. Edit, I didn't answer the question at all. My point was just that someone who spends their time alone might not be a bad person. Maybe it's just an easier lifestyle for them. Respect their privacy. My fiancé and children died last year, had a couple friends die and the rest weren't too fond of me deciding I didn't want to follow their path when I got engaged and cut them off. The parallels you and I share are a bit eerie. I used to ride motorcycles, have been considering getting another, and my dog is sometimes a higher priority than myself. He eats well and that matters a lot to me. Aside from that I live in solitude. Shitty club to be in, isn't it? I was meaning bicycle not motorcycle, but I used to ride a 74 CB 450. Might get another CB one day. I'm in the club too. Lost my wife and discovered that our friends were her friends. But got back on a MC in 2019 for the first since meeting her in 1996. Been riding ever since. Now on my third bike, still have 2. Let my beard grow to the big ass biker beard I always wanted. No pets, but when I don't feel able to continue tour riding I'll get one. Starting to be comfortable alone. Sucks though because I love people. But being social is tough at 55. It might not have been entirely that your friends were her friends. A lot of people don't know how to be supportive and find it's easier to just back away than to be awkward and uncomfortable around a friend's grief. It's complicated. You hit the nail on the head. I lost my partner when I was 24, a lifetime ago, and I actually believe my grief scared most of my friends. It was unthinkable at that age that someone so beloved and vital could be gone and no one wants to consider it could happen to them. It was painful, but I understood as much as anyone can at a time like that. I'm also a person that has zero friends and spends all my time alone at home. So my first thought would be, so I'm not the only creepy loner out there. One of us. 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 No one has zero friends when I'm around. There was one guy who came to my shared apartment for students who was from Finland. He was really socially awkward because of his anxiety and barely looked at you in the eyes when you spoke to him. So that is why I took him with me to meet my friends, and we started doing Cooking Fridays, where we all chose a meal to prepare and really do it from scratch. Also great recommendation for a first date for the two of you. That way we started integrating him into our friends circle, and then ours started playing on the guitar and he even began singing after some time. At the beginning we had to be careful with our wording, but as he became more acquainted to us, he became cheekier and so did we. It was a great experience for all of us and we learned a lot about people with anxiety and were able to make another person happy. He then had to go back to Finland and we left happily with a hug. You're a good person. I'm that person. Give them a chance. Some of us have experienced depression or abuse and are this way for a reason. Some of us are trying to have friendships but have spent so much time working and trying to survive that we put social life to the side. Some of us just like being alone. Some of us are looking for someone to help get us out and experience more. We're not bad or broken, we just have become accustomed to solitude and don't know how to live any other way. We don't want your pity, but could use some compassion. Edit well, this blew up. Thank you for the awards. I'm glad to know I'm not the only loner out there. To those that are struggling, you are strong. It takes a strong person to be comfortable with themselves, to take a trip alone, go to a movie or a restaurant by yourself. Most normal people would crack, but not us. Those that long for company, be patient and be strong. You've got to take a step out too. You can't expect others to come to you. You can do it. Hope you all find peace and happiness in this tough world, however you choose to live. I look in the mirror every day, lol. I don't look in the mirror every day. I can't see myself doing that. You should use 2 mirrors and then you can see yourself seeing yourself. Op, were you expecting answers unlike the ones you're getting now? Is this your first day on Reddit? Hey, maybe they'd never heard about it before because they have no friends to talk about it with. If they're anything like me, it'll be, don't drink or go to bars, not into sport, don't have kids, lives away from relatives. These things are pretty much the basis of most people's relationships. So I'm not the only one. It really depends on how our meeting went. If he was nice and cordial, I would assume it's a personal choice or for some reason he couldn't make friends. If he was arrogant, I would think he is a cunt and no one wants to be with him. If he didn't make an impression, either answer can be right. Honestly, I see this point often, but I don't get it. Pretty much every asshole I've met, well, people that seemed like assholes anyway, seem to have no problems in terms of their social life. In fact, it's sometimes, often, their social circles that make them into assholes.